still. Robbie Gordon in the 31 car right in front of the field.
Oh, man, is anybody else going to get in it? They're going everywhere back there.
Remember, he started in the 5th position. The caution is out. Can you believe I don't think anyone ever touched him?
You mean after he spun out?
After he spun out.
Larry, he was in really tight quarters exiting turn 2 with cars all around him.
Now this, right where he got in trouble, is a crossover gate. And sometime when they start these races, there's a lot of really just the dirt on the racetrack.
He didn't hurt the car.
I think he may have hurt.
Not badly, not what you might expect. Now here's Mark Martin.
He just takes off, and then something happens to that bad boy.
Jeff Burton almost runs him over.
Yeah, it just lays down. I don't know if he broke a transmission or engine or what, but something's seriously wrong.
Right now he's over in the apron at turn 3.
Let's see what happened here. Comes off the corner. Ooh, he ran into the back of Brendan Kahne, and I believe that was Jeremy.
Might also bounced off of Matt Kenseth.
It definitely has some damage to that left front.
Let's see if we can see, get a little bit better look here from the in car. There's Brendan up on the outside. Comes off, pushes up. Oh, something happened to Brendan.
Sound like Brendan had to get completely out of the throttle.
You get tight off that corner over there. He had to lift out of the gas a little bit. Man, I can't tell. That is, from a driver, Robbie Gordon, unexpected.
Brendan had to lift to keep from getting into the safer variant.
Yeah. Goodness, just that quickly at 190 miles an hour. That's when you're going, woo!
Steve Burns, what's happened to Mark?
Mark Martin said 3 words, Mike Joy. Transmission is broke. They're going to send that number 6 car to the garage and try and change the transmission and get back in this race.
And when you look at the last 4 weeks of Mark Martin in this 6 car, remember he had a great car at Charlotte and had the ignition box problem. He won Dover. He had the engine failure last week, and I know they had an awfully good race car this week.
Kurt Busch with right side damage. Brendan Gaughan with rear end damage. Gaughan lifted coming out of turn 2. Robbie Gordon, the orange car, got into him. First caution of the day comes out.
Cost.
And Tony Stewart and Biffle.
Oh,
they got together. That's it.
Takes him out.
Keep spinning it, keep spinning it, keep spinning it.
Both cars continue on.
Caution is out with 8 laps to go.
That was a battle for 8th right there.
I think this is bad news for everybody except 48 and 9, and I think it's good news for them.
I believe you're right, DW, for sure.
Tony Stewart, who started last and climbed his way well up into the top 10.
Looked like he just got in there under a Biffle and this just sucked him right up into him.
This is not what Ryan Newman in that 12 wanted to see.
I think not.
Jeff Green will get the free pass, and that will give us 27 cars on the lead lap for the restart. First, let's watch what happened here between Stewart and Biffle.
Stewart, I think Tony thought he had it. You see his front end wiggle just a little bit, and it wiggles again, and he can't stay off of Biffle, and into him he goes. Just hard racing. Down in there. See him move up a little. Wiggles. Clips it just as he goes back.
Pretty hard lick on that 20 car.
Seven laps to go in Michigan in the DHL 400. Who will win it? Under caution with 6 to go at Michigan. You can race the pros online on our video game, now only on foxsports.com. Keyword games.
It's got to be. They're coming to the checker, though.
But the field is frozen.
Oh, man.
Ryan Newman to victory lane for the first time since last October.
That's why I say you race back on the last lap.
Amen.
Gosh,
amen.
darn it.
You race to the checkered flag.
When you get in the white flag lap, we've always raced back, and there's a good example of why.
And again, Kasey Kahne finds himself so close to victory lane.
Buddy, I'm going to tell you what. I believe that he would have had to. I think he could have taken him.
Here's why we're under caution. A great day for P.J. Jones ends up in a bad way, as there's the Arnold Dodge at turn 2.
And listen, I'm not pulling for either guy. I just like an exciting finish, and that was going to be.
And we were going to have one. But here's what happened to P.J. He was racing in a tight pack of cars prior to this.
Boy, that's a hard lick, but thank goodness for the safer barrier.
Somebody else up in the wall there at
High
way
up
back
in the,
behind him in turn 2.
See him back there.
Here's what happens to Biffle.
I think Biffle was trying to, his car was in the wall. I think he's probably trying to get too much out of it with the condition it was in.
Now, this did not bring out a caution.
No, because he got back going. You'll see right here.
Larry, it's just amazing with the roof flaps and everything they got on these cars now and how they can spin them out and save them and keep going.
All dried down. Ricky Craven's in trouble. Entered that corner way too hard.
Hold on.
You know what? I don't think I've seen that happen for a while. He spun that car and didn't hit the end of that wall.
When you get in trouble over there in turn 10, you normally can't drive it back to the garage.
No, that was he stayed in the gas. He just slid it through there at a high rate of speed.
The big difference, I think, Darrell, is he didn't catch the tail at the edge of that tire wall. Because those walls, tire walls were the first soft walls. We see them a lot at road courses. But what happens, sadly firsthand I can tell you, you get the back end into that tire wall and it sucks the car in and it just twists the front end into it. Yeah. And usually you've written off the car.
Watch this. I mean, what he does is he's off. He knows he's off now. He never slows down. He just stays in the throttle. See the rear tires? They're just digging away. Here he comes, a little wide right here. And now he sees he's going to go off. See the car dip down a little bit? Now he just stays in the throttle and power slides it through here. He just power slides it right and misses the end of that wall.
Boy, if he had just caught the end of it, it would have spun the nose right into the hard wall after it.
They'd be unloading a backup car right now.
I think he probably stayed in the throttle saying, well, I'll either be a hero or a zero.
Yeah, I can't save the lap, but maybe I can save the car.
Exactly.
And he did. So Ricky Craven will head for provisional land. We have 45 entries here for 43 spots. Scott Riggs is on track, Darrell, and that's going to be dusty down at 10 when he gets there.
Yeah, it probably will, but he's not even going to make it to 10, and he had trouble here earlier today. This is coming out of the S's, and for whatever reason, and I think the paving has created so much speed that when you come out of the S's, it's hard to make that turn right there. But what I was going to say about Bobby's talking about his brakes. You run so much camber in the front tires here, and you run such huge brakes on the front that when you come around to turn 10 here and you get on the brakes, you're on the edge of the front tires. And until you run those tires a few laps and get them kind of buffed in, sometimes it just locks up the front tires.
You know, Mike, you had talked earlier about the drivers making their first start here. Scott Riggs, he's going to go ahead and complete that run. Of our rookies, Scott Riggs and Scott Wimmer are the only two guys that's ever even ran a race on a road course. He ran a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Watkins Glen a few years ago.
He'll be 9th of 10 drivers who've made attempts, but
I've seen this happen so many times today. I pointed out to Larry and Jeff when he was up here. And see how much front brakes in the car? The rear tires were still turning and the fronts were locked up. The car dips over on the left front. And around he goes.
Dick Bergman.
With Jeff Gordon, the look on your...
There, he's getting around real good right now. Lap looks pretty decent. Whoa, baby, whoa, whoa.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he's got trouble there.
Something came way apart.
The engine.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I think it was the engine. Boy, that's a shame. He had a good lap going. You heard all that rattling going on? I think those were parts.
Yeah, that was not good. Now, that will lock Brandon Ash into this show, though, because he's now beat 7 cars with the trouble at Michael Waltrip. And we're getting a report that he did tell him on the radio engine blew or something blew up.
I think she blowed up, boys.
Well, better today than Sunday.
You could hear those big parts in there rattling around. That's what all that noise was.
This team just starting to gain a little momentum. Had another top 10 finish at Michigan last week. Let's watch it right here.
Listen to this.
Right when he downshifted, Darrell. Was it?
Sure if he was shifting.
Heard that big noise of connecting rods ventilating the block.
That's what it sounded like they were all flying around all over the place. Here you go.
I don't think he ever made it to the downshift.
Tough break for Michael Waltrip.
Tony Stewart is in the wall and so is Ward Burton.
Sliding all the way up toward turn 2, and Ward gets into the tire barrier pretty hard. That'll give us our first full course caution of the day.
Tony was looking underneath the Ward as they come around turn 1 right here. Tony saw he wasn't going to make it, and he tried to slow down, but it was too late. Ward cut to make the corner, and bam, they got together.
Now, even though the caution flag is out and it's waving at all the flag stations around the track, if you recover from your spin, wherever you get back in line is your position.
Yeah, exactly. When you start maintaining caution speed. Remember, it takes 1 minute and 17 seconds to get around here. As long as you don't hit anything as Tony Stewart, you're in good shape.
You see Tony, he sees it's not going to be, he doesn't have enough room to make the pass. Tony, I don't believe, hit anything, and Ward just barely hit that outside wall. Tony was really lucky.
He gets in those tires pretty hard, Ward Burton in the 0.
Just a little bit too aggressive for the second lap of the race.
Look way up ahead of Kasey Kahne here. There's the spin. Tire walls were racing's first so-called safer barriers, giving a soft landing zone as opposed to Armco or concrete. Ward Burton drives away. Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Visa, proud sponsor of NASCAR. By Wendy's 99-cent super value menu. It's better here. And by Nextel. NASCAR and Nextel, partners in speed. Caution is out at Infineon Raceway. The Dodge Save Martin 350, 3 laps complete, a good bit of damage to the left rear of Ward Burton's car.
And you know, caution flag laps here are agonizingly slow. They always have been. That's nothing new. Boy, Tony just saw he wasn't going to make he wasn't able to make the pass, and you know, he tried to lock it down and stay off of Ward, but there just wasn't enough room. It gets tight right there. It's walls on both sides, not a lot of room for a mistake.
Both drivers able to continue. This track has become one of America's premier road racing circuits. Here's Dick Berggren with today's WebMD safety report.
Around.
That's Sterling Marlin.
Marlin just got it, and I think Robbie Gordon might have gotten in there. He's right up in the middle of it.
And Junior was right in the middle of it, but I believe he snaked through. Now, we're still under green. Blue flag waving there. That's local area of concern, not a caution area, and we stay green.
Boy said you're Mr. Excitement got into the back of Sterling. It's a terrible restart. Guys running all over each other.
He almost got into Sterling before the green flag and did down in turn 1.
Well, they kind of needed to get them all separated a little bit, so I guess that's one way of doing it.
Boris Badenoff runs in 18th.
Almost looked like something happened to Sterling. I mean, that was such an abrupt ram into the rear. It almost looked like something might have happened to him. Maybe missed the shift.
All right, we stay green, but let's take a look here. Watch for the silver bullet of Sterling Marlin. There it goes.
This happened right past the start-finish line after they took the green, going off into turn 1. There you see Robbie Gordon in the 31.
I thought he was going to
barely getting by.
Here it is. Sterling just closed the door on Boris.
Well, it's tight right there, Mike.
Yep.
The same thing happened with Tony there a while ago when Ward. There's not a lot of room right there, and there's a wall on either side, so you got to be right on it.
It's like running into a funnel.
And Boris didn't have clearance on him. It wasn't like it was Boris's corner. Now, everybody's been able to continue.
Got into a crash here early yesterday, had to go to a backup car. Then they even had to change engines this morning, but he's up to the 25th position.
Junior has spun.
Oh, man, he not only spun,
He's caught a little bit of the wall there.
He's hit that wall pretty hard, I think.
Clear right there. If you hit anything, I can...
He came by the last time in 20th position racing with Robbie Gordon and Jimmy Johnson.
I tell you, he and Robbie Gordon have had something going on. I'm not sure what the deal is. I think they were poking on each other pretty good.
Was that turn 4?
I think it was, Mike.
Let's
I think it was on the outside of what would have been the outside of turn 4.
Sure, if Jimmy Johnson got into the back of him,
No,
he
I
just
don't think
lost
so.
it.
I
Looks
think
like
he got
just
over those
lost it.
rumble strips and lost it.
Let's listen here.
That's what happened right there.
Yeah, he just got on the rumble strips. Thing jumped up in the air, and around she went.
It all started back there as he turned off into the corner.
And he spun all the way across the racetrack. Lucky nobody hit him. Remember 1 year ago. Kurt Busch got in the back of Junior as Rusty Wallace went for a spin. And things piled up.
Got another car there.
And it's Kurt Busch in trouble now.
Our second place.
Here's what happened to the Wood Brothers car, the 21 of Ricky Rudd.
Or just got loose.
I believe it did. I think what happened, he run out of room, hard on the brakes, round she went.
Traffic, excuse me, pardon me.
And Darrell, it was almost like there you see the 59 car come up there and bump him. It's almost like he was trying to enter that corner odd because of the position he was in right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic right there, and he just didn't have a good entrance. Hear the wheel hop, pop, pop, pop. We've heard that more here this weekend, I think, ever before. Could be a product of this new surface.
And plus, they try to put as much rear brake in it as they can. You get on the brakes hard, it gets it to wheel hop.
Yeah, early on, you're going to crank a little extra rear brake in it because you got a lot of fuel in the rear and all, and it'll handle it, but way too much. 31's off the track up in the S's.
Yes, he is. And back on.
I think he does have that tire going down that they were talking about earlier.
What tire, Darrell?
Holy cow.
The left front's completely
the whole
gone.
left front's gone.
What tire is in? It's just not there anymore. Oh, geez.
And of course, he'll be able to make it to pit road, but no, it's not. It wouldn't even turn. He's over in the tire wall. The caution is out.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a race start, any race really, with the kind of things we've had happen so far.
New pavement. A lot of drivers counting points, chasing for the chase for the championship. Everybody's got an agenda and everybody's in a hurry.
Now, Jimmy Johnson, I think they smelled the caution flag coming. They made it to pit road before it was closed. He gets in there and gets those 4 tires and fuel.
Steve?
Okay. Guys, listening to Robbie Gordon, that tire saga continued, as you just saw. A lap ago, he said there is something wrong with this race car, and then as we saw, the left front tire came off, but they have no idea what the problem was as he heads into his pit stall.
Steve, is the whole wheel gone?
Everything's gone, Mike.
Wow.
Looking at it right here, there's absolutely nothing. The brake rotor is there.
I thought I
the
saw
axle
the lug,
hub, but that's it.
I thought I could still see the lug nuts on it. No,
I think it's all gone, Darrell. The wheel, the lug nuts, everything off. Let's see.
There he is, up
Right
on
at
the
your
outside. There she goes.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't appear that the center of the wheel broke out, at least what we saw right there.
I didn't.
Which is what we'd expect.
I was looking to see if there were lug nuts there. At first, I thought there was. I don't think there's any lug nuts on there, Larry.
Of course, this drags about everything under the race car coming, trying to get back to pit road. Sway bar arms, everything else.
No left front tire. No turn to the right. This is a great camera that BSD gave us on the front bumper, Robbie Gordon's car.
Yeah, this is going to hurt. You might want to draw up a little bit right here.
Couldn't get it stopped, couldn't get it turned.
Second caution of the day. Robbie Gordon, last year's winner, in the wall. Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by... Uh-oh, that is Brandon Ash off in the dirt. One of the West Coast drivers. Blue flags will wave up at the north end of the course, which instructs the drivers to take care but does not prohibit passing.
So we stay green. No caution.
You're not going to see many cautions. We're tired of cautions. You're not going to see many today. Local cautions, that's about it. Well, we just got off.
Got off the racetrack.
Whoa,
look out,
baby.
Kyle in the 45 car. Kyle Petty just barely gets by.
That's back in 30th position. They're 29th and 30th.
Qualifying, so he's got a good race car.
Junior. Round again.
More coming. 2 more coming.
I'm just
Right
almost
there.
convinced, Larry, the problem with that car is it keeps getting keeps
Clear.
dropping the rear tire.
Somebody got into us in the corner, Junior.
Well, if somebody got in.
Yeah, I know.
Left rear. I think it's the left rear. Somebody
Talk to Tony, Junior, so they can look at the fender.
also damaged the right rear.
Yeah, I think right now he just needs to back off a little bit and survive this baby.
He came by in 22nd position that last lap. He's going to be further behind now than that, though. They're trying to go 3 wide into that turn 7 up there.
PJ Jones in the 50.
Just a big bottleneck.
Yeah.
I believe Robbie Gordon's got problems getting in the 31 car. It looks like he maybe's got a right front
Now
down
the right side's messed up on his car.
So Junior recovers from the spin, but again, this could have big point standing implications. One more look here as he gets hit from behind. And look at here at turn 11. Tony Stewart got PJ Jones.
That's about the second car that Tony has got into down there in turn 11 in the hairpin.
And the 31 here, he's got a tire down the right front, and he just went by his pits.
And this is the opposite side. This is not the left front as a while ago. This is a right front.
Now he knows that's out on the racetrack. Will there be a caution?
You think there's method to that madness?
There may very well be.
See, he was trying to get the pit road right there. There you see the tire rolling across the infield.
I wonder, Darrell, and maybe this view will show, could he have not made the turn to the pit lane?
I don't know, but that's making me dizzy.
Let's see as he comes toward the pit lane. That is a great camera shot. Thanks to the guys at BST. Trying to turn, Steve.
Mike, I'm listening to Robbie Gordon talk to crew chief Chris Andrews, and it sounded like he knew that he had enough time to get to pit road. Chris Andrews told him just to keep getting around that racetrack, and there you see the tire right front came off the 31.
Well, he'll make it this time and go 1 lap down again.
I might have gotten an argument with my crew chief about that one.
I believe that's one of those deals where I'd say, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to Steve.
It's going to be right side tires only for Robbie Gordon on the 31. They lift it up. Robbie, listening to Robbie, he's saying the sway bar may be a problem again. They had that earlier. And they aren't going to go ahead and put 4 tires on the 31 while they're here. And they're having a problem with an air wrench to boot. The line has
had the kind of day you wouldn't wish on your least favorite driver. This time, he ran over something on the racetrack, and it cut down the right front tire and then shredded it and left it out on the racetrack. Whatever that is what Robbie ran over.
That's the 3rd tire he's had cut down today.
And that really kind of tells you why a lot of times we'll see a caution and say, oh, that wouldn't hurt anything. But that's what can happen with anything that's on the racetrack.
Turn 10 here.
Yeah, just rolls the casing right off of the wheel. I was going to break into a fine time to leave me loose wheel for Robbie, but I don't think he'd be in the mood for it.
And of course, what makes it so bad, look how far up the racetrack he is. He's got half the racetrack to come around. They do not run that inner liner, that safety shield here, the tire within the tire at the road courses. I bet they don't throw it on the air hose this time, though.
Bad news for Robbie Gordon is bad news for Jeff Gordon. His lead has been erased by this caution flag.
Where they're going to throw it might be at each other down there right now.
Dale Jr., who's been around twice today, not around the block, but spun around. Whoa, Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield. He was running in the 11th position. That's a terrible spot. We've seen how close cars have been.
Yikes!
Not good.
Come on.
Not good.
Poor old Schrader just gets run plumb off the racetrack. Look at that.
And Schrader's having a good run. He was running up in the 19th position, but he's going to lose several now.
Poor Schrader. That was like a drive-by mugging.
Oh, man.
In Mayfield, like I say, I don't envy his position. I mean, you're sitting there where we've watched cars all day long go right through there where he was sitting coming off that corner.
Well, you're sitting there when you're trying to get going again. You see those cars coming and going, and that's spots you're losing.
Here it is again.
Just gets down that, comes down that hill, just a little too hot.
And now what do you do? Now it looks like he's got a gap here to go. Yikes.
Oh, that was Raven just barely gets stopped. Here where it gets real close, Kenny Schrader in the 49 car somehow squeaks by.
Pushing, that's something we've not necessarily had to fight that much here. It's handling problems. We've got problems out on the racetrack. This is live happening right here. Looks like maybe actually Kasey Kahne.
Big trouble for the rookie and for
That's actually Ward Burton. Yeah.
That is Ward Burton, who was wrecked. There is Kasey Kahne. Damage on the right side of Kahne's car, heavy damage.
Boy, this is the biggest fear you have as a team is to get your car torn up out there practicing. But you've got to go out there and run like this so you'll know if your car's any good or not.
And here they see their team trying to get the backup car unloaded, hopefully to get out there on the racetrack and get some practice time with that car.
Oh, yeah, it's very critical to have that car ready to hit the racetrack.
And Ward had a great qualifying run last night. He would line up 8th, but now in a backup car, we'll have to go to the tail end of the field.
I just hope he's all right because I haven't seen the window net come down yet.
Moving around inside, we can see.
There are no light accidents here at Daytona. I mean, when you hit the wall, and he's hit it pretty hard with the left front, when you hit the wall here, it hurts. And it can just sting you, like getting shot with a gun almost.
Here's what happened.
Oh, the 9 gets loose, corrects, and here comes Ward, and look at that. Now, I haven't seen the Nextel Cup car go airborne quite like that in my whole career, I don't think.
But, Darrell, you saw that right there. I mean, that car ran up on the back of Kasey Kahne. He did not get right up on him, and you're going to see it right here. See, that car gets loose. He takes the air off the rear spoiler. Nowhere for Ward Burton to go. Wow. Safer barrier installed right there in that area.
Darrell, what I saw was the left front tire on Ward's car get the right front tire of Kasey's car, and just like open wheel cars, tire-to-tire contact, it launched him.
It just launched that thing.
Wow.
Man, that thing was up in the air.
Now, Ward has climbed out of his car. He's okay.
You can see there, Kasey's loose. He gets loose, and he's going to hit the wall no matter what.
Right there.
And here comes Ward, and, I mean, he just goes over the right front of Kasey's car, and both guys are really lucky. The guys are really lucky as these cats are coming along here behind them.
See that one car there?
That's his brakes. I mean, he's locked up the tire, trying to stop. Well, this will give you a really good, this ought to be pretty amazing right here. Here he comes, and he's down in the, coming off turn 2, about middle ways here. Uh-oh, and there she goes, and buddy, he knows he's in trouble.
That was getting loose at about 185, 186 miles per hour.
See what the car does here. It just gets loose. I mean, Ward's not really close enough to cause that. But you see how, as you were right, Mike, Kasey's got his tires, got his wheels turned hard left. That tire's sticking out there, and Ward just launched off of that tire.
All right, guys, we'll keep an eye on this, update the situation. Ward Burton qualified 8th, only the 3rd time this season. The 2002 Daytona 500 winner involved in a wreck here with Kasey Kahne. More on this when we come back here on FX from Daytona. FX, glad to have you here in Daytona as we're getting ready for the final practice session to get back going after the Kasey Kahne Ward Burton incident with Jeff Hammond. overlooking the track here, and you see backup cars already. I mean, we're talking about 190 miles per hour. Ward Burton had nowhere to go.
No, when something like that happens in front of you, you kind of aim your car where you hope the guy won't be, but in Ward's case, he had no place else to go.
And it looked like just past where the safer barriers were, going airborne and coming into that, but that could come into play, obviously.
It could very easily. I mean, it's really good we've got the safer barriers here at Daytona this race, but you can see heavy damage right there to the zero car of Ward Burton's, and literally he just got launched right off the right side tires of Kasey Kahne, and he's very fortunate that the way the car was aimed, it was down the straightaway, that he landed basically going down the straightaway.
All right, let's, you talked about being careful right from the driver perspective. Let's go up to Darrell and take us through what's going on, what you're thinking as you try to get ready for in a race that could have the big one. This is a little one that obviously could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, well, what's happening right here is, I mean, I don't think Ward had anything to do with this. Watch Kasey's hands. He's got the wheels turned pretty much to the left, but the car snaps loose, and he's going to hit the wall. Kasey Kahne's going to hit the wall no matter what. But here comes Ward with absolutely no place to go, and he tries to squeeze between the wall and Kasey, and there's just not enough room. And right now, I know that's a hard lick for Ward Burton, and I'm glad he's okay. Kasey's driving back to the pits in his car. Matt.
DW, both teams have already pulled out their backups. The 9 was just wheeled away, and first off, Kasey Kahne, you're okay, but what happened?
Just car wasn't very good, and I was trying to drive through it. It was real, the back was real loose, and you know, I should have probably just tried spinning it out or something right there. Instead, I ended up taking out, I think it was the 0 car too. So it's disappointing for those guys for that. But I don't know. We just I struggle in these places.
Not only are you battling getting this car ready to get back on the racetrack, you're battling Mother Nature. If you don't get this brand new restrictor plate car out on the racetrack, where do you stand confidence-wise? Are you a little nervous starting tomorrow night with this car not having any laps on it, even though this team prepares their cars so well?
Yeah, I mean, we know the car will be prepared well, but, you know, that was a brand new car there, too, and it wasn't very good, so who knows how this one will be. But we just got to, you know, I think the guys are working hard to make them better. I think Jeremy, I don't know if his car's good or not, but we just got to work hard to get the car on the racetrack and run around tomorrow night.
Now, the bad news, guys, for this team, the raindrops have already started. Light sprinkling down here in the garage.
Well, Matt, if you were able to see west of the Speedway, just from here to I-95, just a mile away, it's heavy rain there. Let's have a look at this with Fox tracks in and look at the speeds. They're running about 185 miles an hour as this begins.
It's that little dip over there. It's good. There's a dip right in the middle of, as you exit turn 2, and that'll upset the car just enough to get it loose like that.
You know what I like watching that car slide sideways there, though? That used to be grass back there, and that would have been a bad deal. Now they have all asphalt in the runoff area.
This storm system has been building down around Orlando, which is southwest of Daytona, and really growing. And we have been thinking, hoping, wishing that it would pass to the south of us. And it looks like we're going to get at least a little bit of the northern end of it here. So we're under the red flag, Chris.
Mike, yeah, a cell, I think, of showers. We used to just call, hey, there's rain. Now the weather terminology.
Yeah, well, you're here in Florida, though. You can always expect this. Right here, you can see the marks right there. It looks like the 0 car did bounce off of the very tip end of the safer barrier.
Weather permitting, the Busch Series next on FX, and then tomorrow, Craftsman Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 from Kansas. That's on speed, and then Nextel Cup Racing on Fox. DEI, Jeff Gordon on the pole, the Pepsi 400 tomorrow night, 7 Eastern. We'll be back here on FX in a moment. Welcome back to the final practice session for tomorrow's Pepsi 400. You'll see that on Fox. We're here on FX. We have the Busch race coming up, weather permitting, and they're clearing the track after the incident with Ward Burton and Kasey Kahne. And Kasey Kahne looked a little rattled to look at his eye when we heard his comments a moment ago.
You got to imagine right now that he just got through being involved in an accident at better than 185 miles an hour. So I think he'd probably be a little bit wild-eyed also, my friend.
24-year-old rookie, 4 second-place finishes this year, trying to adjust. You heard his comments about tracks like these, restrictor plate, high speed, high adventure.
I think, again, when you think about him being a rookie in some of the situations he's been in, you give him another year, probably that accident would have resulted in a spin out rather than turning back up in front of another competitor and getting caught up in a wreck.
So both backup cars for Ward Burton and Kahne, and important that they get those backup cars out on the track and get some time in.
Well, if you can make any laps at all, so at least you can get a feel and some feedback to give your crew chiefs is so important. But if they can't, the guys that got working on these cars, Tony Furr, they'll do a great job as far as making the right kind of decisions. They'll go ask other competitors, and they'll come up with a setup that they can tune around.
Okay, let's go back up, Mike.
Well, what a tough 4 weeks for Tony Furr and crew, and for Ward Burton. At Dover, he was gobbled up in the big crash with 54 laps to go. At Pocono, Ward got wrecked on lap 50, and he got spun early at Sonoma last week. And now this.
Look how far that car was up in the air.
I tell you, a number of guys did a great job of avoiding that, though. Jimmy Spencer and Brendan going there, and I'm not sure who that other car is, but that was big.
Steve Burns is with Ward.
Ward Burton just out of the care center. DW described it as a real hard lick. First off, are you okay? Tell us what happened.
I'm fine, just a little disappointed. 9 car, we were just catching him, and it appeared the 9 car got loose for whatever reason. I don't know why it would have gotten loose unless they were trying something on the chassis or a tire went down. Probably he should have spun it on out. He overcorrected, came back up the wall. I was right beside him, so just one of those things, wrong place, wrong time. But we're okay. Hopefully the backup car will run, and we'll go find out what we can do with it.
We'll let you go to work, Ward. Thank you.
Okay,
Glad you're okay.
Thanks.
Their luck just has to turn around.
I can't help but reminisce a little bit back to 1992 and think about another rookie that was a sensation. That was Jeff Gordon. And
turn two. 2 cars.
Ward Burton for the
3
second
cars.
time this weekend. He takes Kenneth with him.
4
Ricky
cars.
Craven, Kenny Schrader. And the defending Cup champions car is wrecked at the bottom of turn 2. Saw Matt trying to refire it, but there's a lot of damage to the left front.
A lot of damage to the whole car, mainly the left rear. Ricky Craven, the tied 32 car. He's going to drive away, but I'm sure he'll have to go to the garage here and see Matt Kenseth trying to get his
Let's get back to the
car.
garage and get ready here. I'm trying to look at it on TV, but it's hard to tell here.
Ward Burton had come from 40th to 21st. Remember, after qualifying 5th, he wrecked in yesterday's practice. He was moving forward in this backup Net Zero Chevy, but it looks like he may be done for tonight. Dick Bergman.
And he was on the radio just before that accident, Mike, to say he had a tire going down. Ward Burton.
Oh, Darrell, the last 4 weeks for Ward Burton, you wouldn't wish on anybody in racing.
It's been tough.
Yes.
See what we can see here.
Left of your screen.
Right in front of Matt Kenseth. There you see the tire.
Yeah, you saw the
right
tire.
there.
It just looked like it almost blew out.
And Kenseth went to the bottom and almost got by, and Ward comes down off the banking, which normally will happen.
Boy, a number of guys, look at Rusty Wallace. A number of guys did a really good job of missing this accident. You see the smoke. You see the right rear tire looks like it just blew out. It's a backup car. There's always a chance that he didn't get to run it enough. Thing could have been rubbing somewhere. Could have been rubbing in a quarter panel. Could have been rubbing somewhere and blew that tire out.
We see where all the damage to Ricky Craven on his left rear came from Kenny Schrader in the 49 car.
Everybody's out of their car and okay after this pileup between turns 1 and 2.
Larry, as you well know, we build these. They build the cars the tires and the fenders so close that if you don't get a lot of laps out there in practice, you drop the air pressure down a little bit. The tire flex, ooh, that hurt.
Hard lick. And remember, they only got a handful of laps with that 0 car.
That's Matt Kenseth, the defending Cup champion. This is Rusty Wallace. Rusty scoots through. Remember what happened to Ward Burton yesterday in final practice when Kasey Kahne has trouble in front of him.
Yeah, this is no fault of Ward's at all. Kasey loses the car, corrects it, tries to keep it out of the wall, and here comes Ward.
Well, what that makes, basically both situations, no making of Ward Burton in that race team. He blows a tire here tonight, and he's a victim of Kasey Kahne getting loose yesterday.
Officially, it's the second caution flag of the night. Ward Burton cuts out a tire, collects Matt Kenseth, Ricky Craven, and Kenny Schrader. The Pepsi 400 on Fox is brought to you by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR. WebMD, redefining modern medicine. McDonald's. And by Napa Auto Parts. Get the good stuff.
And this is a Visa Race Break. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox. The Pepsi 400 under caution at lap 21 with Michael Waltrip leading. Those involved in the crash, former Daytona 500 winner Ward Burton, Matt Kenseth won the points championship last year along with Craven and Schrader. Rusty Wallace, a terrific job of escaping without being involved in this, Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching today. 0 car Ward Burton. All of a sudden, you'll see smoke come off the right rear. It looks like a right rear tire goes down. Matt Kenseth is basically kind of boxed in. He's trying to see which way Ward's going. All of a sudden, his car starts to go to the top of the racetrack. He starts to try to go by him. He's collected in the crash along with the 49 car, Kenny Schrader and Ricky Craven. The 38 car of Elliott Sadler, he's another guy just barely missed.
Rusty going by him.
Rusty getting by.
Easing toward pit road.
Caution is out, too.
And the caution is out. It's John Andretti.
Our buddy that's been running a little bit high all night long.
He finally ran out of room.
Lap 45. It's the third caution of the night. John Andretti from Indianapolis driving a limited schedule for Earnhardt Incorporated.
Got a right front tire down. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but got a right front down. Oh, yeah. See, I think his car was too tight, and he's been pushing, and that's why he's been running that high line, and I think he may have just used up the right front tire on that bad boy.
Who this caution was a huge break for was Kasey Kahne in that 9 car. He had completely lost all.
I think that was a timely pit stop. We got a car in the wall right there.
Mike Wallace, I believe, 50 car. Caution is out, too.
And a smoker. Brendan Gaughan. A lot of smoke on the right side of Gaughan's car.
A lot of damage, I believe, on the right side.
The Kodak 77. Let's see here if he was involved in this 5th caution flag.
Heard Wallace say he cut a tire.
On the right side of your screen,
there he goes. Yep.
That's where the damage came to Brendan Gaughan as well. Just nowhere for him to go as Mike Wallace just shoots straight up the racetrack in the 50 car.
And you just can't turn these cars to the bottom at 180 miles an hour.
Not with a right front tire or right rear tire going down.
So caution is out again. Will everybody come back in the pits? We'll come back and find out. Michael Waltrip, then this group, Labonte, Biffle, Robbie Gordon, Earnhardt, and Stewart. Brendan Gaughan's car under repair on pit road. Hey, I need a hammer.
Coming to you.
Nice catch.
I need a hammer, man. That's not a hammer.
I need a bigger hammer.
And the official never flinched.
He didn't see it coming.
And we have a crash on the track. Kyle Busch, who does not have a provisional to fall back on in this limited effort out of the Hendrick R&D shop, and now he's got a very wrinkled up race car.
And we just talked to him and asked him, was he going to go for it or, you know, just try to get a top 15 run? And he's a little bit upset.
That was coming to the green flag, wasn't it?
And the south. And the ambulance is chasing him.
They may not catch him for a while.
I know they won't.
Let's go back and show you what happened.
Well, it happened as he exited turn 4, coming down for the green flag. Boy, a little bit loose. He was on the gas, though,
he
wasn't
tried saving it, yeah.
He chased it, didn't catch it.
Yeah, he was on the gas. There's the green flag.
Still going.
Yeah, he's still waving that green flag.
Oh, if he'd have just kept it from rolling to Clark. Well, never mind. It was a wrecked car anyway.
Just right when you jump on the throttle. Broke loose.
And then broke.
And then broke. Traction.
So his qualifying has started.
Never a good sound. And so Kyle is back in the garage area. And we were talking with Kasey Kahne when things went wrong for Kyle. Marty, you want to continue? Back in New Hampshire, the caution has just come out. Ricky Craven, who is running an 11th spot, has gotten into the wall off of turn 2.
Pretty hard there, VP.
Oh, he sure has. That right front tire isn't moving, isn't rolling, so it's usually a sign.
So the lucky dog will be.
First, we give up the lucky dog, don't we?
Yes, sir, Junior, you are a lucky dog
stay out there
today.
till we figure out what's going on. We'll be fine. Just kind of get caught up here and let's see what happens.
And what they're referring to, if you're new to NASCAR.
Wow, center off. It's like spins right rear up off. That way it's got, I don't know, it just don't, it's loose in, it won't turn in the middle, it won't roll through the center. If it rolls through the center, don't turn off. Not enough gear.
When NASCAR ended the practice of racing back to the caution, they put in a rule to allow the first car not on the lead lap at a caution flag to get back around the pace car and basically make up the lap. So Junior is in that position.
If you put it on the left, on that flat part, getting in and coming off, it gets loose off. If you put it on the flat, put the left foot down there, it gets loose out against the wall, but it pushes all the way through the center, all the way off. Hey guys, don't worry about it. That's we're gonna come in, Dale Jr. Don't come in first time by. Wait second time by. We're gonna get you out, then we're gonna come in and do our tires. Clark. Cannot cast it after that. Fine, Clark, get Dale Jr. out. Y'all have the can. Bill, you're doing it. Where's Craig? Craig, your catch can. Just do the normal deal we've been doing all week. All right. Remember, they said you got to take tires your first time in. You can't take them after that. Or that's fuel, sorry.
Well, they've got a lot of officials down there at that 8 pit, don't they, to make sure they do everything right?
Here come the lead lap cars onto pit road for their service.
Calm down, it's work good.
Junior stays on the track as he has to as a lap down car, and the leaders are in. Brian Newman to the attention of his crew all the way down at turn 1. Marty?
Michael Waltrip just a little bit tight. It was 4 tires, pound down the right front, wedge out of the left rear. Quick stop for the 15 guys. Matt?
A chassis adjustment and air pressure adjustment for Kasey Kahne. The balance of the car gone way to the loose side. He's down and away. Bill?
They're taking off that right rear tire. Ryan complained about a chassis adjustment, track bar, and wedge adjustment. A little bit tight. He's on his way.
Looks like Tony Stewart picked up a couple of spots. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just been waved around the pace car, so he'll now come back onto the lead lap, then come around and make his pit stop.
And now he'll probably try to get those belts loose.
Where's that pace car at?
Get everything unplugged.
Go ahead and catch up, Junior.
Before he stops.
Safety truck up there, watch him. Get all you can there, Dale Jr., because I got to have all that time.
So you see him right there?
Copy.
He's loosening the belts up.
Ready.
Okay, now that helps when the next guy gets in. Those belts, if they're tight when the next guy gets in, it's really hard to get them buckled. Now we'll probably unlatch it before he gets stopped as well. Need to unplug everything, get everything you can attached to you so you can get out quick. Don't forget, he's sore, so he's not going to be getting out too fast.
He might need to make another lap because, all right, here he comes.
If he makes another lap, then they can't add fuel to the car, so he's got to come in here, Benny.
Come on, you're 10 away here, DJ, right in front of the 41. Come on in here. Come on, right here.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Here they go. The three guys going in the car. On the other side, Jay Guarneri hopped in through the window. B. Hoover will jump in and help Martin Truex jump in. But Big Jeff Clark is now helping Junior out of the car. He's the gas man, helps Junior get out. Gas man for the team. Bill Snyder will fuel the car. You heard him discussing the understanding of the lucky dog rule. They must fuel now because they can't come in later and do it. Now Truex is in the car. They will try to buckle him in. Again, the team helping him, and Martin trying to do what he can. But Guarneri on the other side doing most of the buckling. Window net and belts have to be tightened. Or the NASCAR officials look at him looking in the car, making sure that he is safe to re-enter the speedway. They say that he is. They don't stand before him, and he leaves. They beat the pace car out.
Man, the crowd is loving all this drama on pit road with a driver change.
So, now, if he got everything attached, he'll stay out. But if he needs to come in, he's got some time. Make sure everything is connected, especially the radio.
I'm sure he'll come back in.
Yeah.
They'll come back in to take their tires. Dave?
That's right. They can put tires back on, but they can't refuel. That was not to give too much of an advantage to the lucky dog.
So Dale Jr. getting a breath as Martin Truex Jr. is now back into the number 8 car.
And you see, he doesn't have gloves on because it's so much easier to put the belts on. He'll put the gloves on before he starts back there.
BP, those gloves are in the car. They're stuffed underneath the front seat for Martin. As soon as he has the belts tightened, he will put them on.
All right.
He didn't even have the belts tight yet. I mean, he had them connected, but there you go. He's straightening the wheel out.
Chaos.
I mean, that's tough when you're trying to do all that stuff and not
Don't speed.
get a lap down.
Don't speed. You're good.
Now he'll tighten those belts up once he gets, caught up.
And again, because he was at the end of the pack, they had so much less time to work with. You see, they just barely beat the pace car out again.
Go, so get on around there.
The crowd reaction when they hoisted Junior out of that car was huge.
That is awesome.
Doesn't matter what racetrack you go to, he is popular. So now it falls on the shoulders of 24-year-old Martin Truex Jr. to get what kind of a finish he can out of the day for the Budweiser team, and what kind of points he can score for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the championship. If you're new to NASCAR, the driver that started. Now let's go back through all the hurrah and show you why the caution came out.
Oh.
I wonder what happened to the 38 car of Elliott Sadler, and I see now. The 32, Ricky Craven, got loose off the stop.
Got into his left rear.
Back at New Hampshire International Speedway, caution has just come out. Martin Truex Jr. is into the wall in turn 1.
And that's not what they were hoping for today.
Excuse me, left rear.
He was falling back, had some contact with Jimmy Johnson a couple of laps ago. And you can see he's got some damage and some flat tires on the left side of that car.
No, he drove right in the left rear.
It sounds like he hit someone else in the left rear and he's trying to avoid hitting them and spun himself out. Let's see. I think we have a replay. There we go.
Or he got hit in the left rear, I think is more like it.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Ken Schrader.
See if we can get a better angle here of what happened. They're just going for the same real estate. That's all there is to it. I mean, you're wanting to be in the center of the corner there. Schrader's down low. His car's going to slide up a little bit, but the 8 car's going to want to get down to the center.
Exactly. They want to go, and they both fight for the same exact spot. And once again, as long as we have racing, we're going to have wrecks exactly like that. On board with Kenny Schrader.
And it doesn't take much. No. I mean, you're already on the edge when you're in the corner, so it doesn't take much to get the car turned around when you make contact.
On board with Truex, and listen.
See, that wasn't much contact.
That was pretty good contact there, unfortunately.
Yeah. and the caution came out before these guys who skipped pitting on the last couple of times had to come in under green. So here they come now under the yellow flag. Newman, Waltrip, McMurray. Back in New Hampshire, the caution has just come out. Ricky Rudd has hit the safer barrier in turn 3, and he's hit it a bunch.
He hit it a ton, and he looked like he was very, very upset. I don't know if it was himself or someone else, but he threw the steering wheel off. Okay, let me get this belt out of here. I want out of this car.
Yeah, whenever you're wrecked, you're mad.
Oh, yeah.
There's levels of being mad. Obviously, it's even worse when somebody helps you wreck.
Around the bottom of the racetrack at 20 mile an hour off the pace.
Yeah, let's take a look. There's the 72 that we're talking about.
Martin gets in the back. I think he was talking about the 25 car of Vickers.
Look at the back end of this car leap off the ground. Wow, man. On board, Mark Martin.
Yeah, Ricky had to check up for Brian Vickers, and Mark got in the back of Ricky Rudd. Ouch. Oh, he did go in that hard.
Here in front of you, right here in front of you. Go, go, go.
All right, here we go.
87 cars in the lead. Oh, trouble.
77.
Brendan Gaughan, turn 2.
Is a caution out? Yes, it is.
Heck of a save.
He's got some damage.
No, you didn't hit a thing. You're good.
But Brendan Gaughan, he's got the right rear corner of the car crinkled up a little. Maybe that's what caused him to spin. So the yellow flag out for, what is this, the 8th time in the race? For Brendan Gaughan, who went for a little loop-de-loop over in turn number 2. Venturing where no man boldly goes. And the very colored smoke. That's an interesting sight too, huh? Caution flag is out.
Lots of fluid at the bottom of that car.
Yes, it's going to take quite a while to clean this mess up. Put down the oil dry and get that fluid off the surface.
The New England native, and a lot of his earlier racing days based out of Concord, New Hampshire, the city close by the racetrack here. But he will not have a crowd pleaser today.
Well, this hasn't been a great weekend for him.
No.
Period.
Ricky and team owner Cal Wells announcing earlier in the week that Ricky would not be back in this ride for 2005. So the question is, will anybody come to pit road? Will anybody be looking for some tires? Will anybody be looking for some Sunoco gasoline to be sure they can make it to the finish? I'll bet those guys thought they were done pumping gas today.
Yeah, and they might be.
I think some guys with gamble maybe come in for some tires, but not many of the guys up front are coming down pit road.
So what happened to Ricky Craven that's put us under the caution for a 10th time? Coming at you.
Wow, that thing just blew up. Looked like maybe a radiator hose or something gave way. Of course, going into the corner.
Like they always do. We talked about that last week.
Can't say it enough times. Thank goodness for the safer barriers. Helping reduce the severity of those impacts in the corner.
You see the tires were very shiny with wet fluid.
Safety workers there working with Ricky Craven as the pace car has collected the field. Pit road still closed. And so it's going to be a minute before we see if anybody will come down the pit lane for stops. And here comes Ricky out of the car. That's what we wanted to see.
Very dejected, disgusted driver.
Individual, yes.
Okay, let's see if pit road is open this time, which it will be. See if anybody does come down. What would you do?
No, oh, well, it depends where I'm at. But I mean, if I'm in the top 10.
One on the wall, Greg Biffle. Caution.
Heavy contact with that wall.
He had a problem the lap before where he got up out of the groove, and I don't know if he had a tire going down or his brakes were failing.
I don't know either. I saw him up high, very, very high the last lap. He lost about 10 positions.
I do know he wants out of that car badly.
Okay, here we go. There's what Alan and I were talking about when he's up very, very high in the corner. That looks like no brakes. You're right.
That sure does look like no brakes.
And then a lap later, he came into the same corner, and it got worse.
That looks like too much rear brake. So if he was losing his brakes, losing his front brake, he had too much rear brake. Matt?
Wally, he came out on the radio, told his team, I feel like I got into some kind of liquid or oil.
Really? Well, the 72 car just went into the pits with a blown engine about 2 laps before that.
There you have it.
Yeah, but why just the one car having troubles?
Right.
I don't know.
That car sure came around. The back came around.
Yeah. Well, Biffle has climbed into the ambulance for the trip to the infield care center. Now we have 28 laps to go, and the pit road will be open this time. And
don't even ask.
29 cars on the trouble. Turn 4. Rusty Wallace has hit hard.
And folks, regardless, the race is not over. We will see the green flag. Who spun him out?
He said 88. Dale Jarrett was next behind him after Michael Waltrip got by.
See Rusty really sitting up high in the seat so he can see over the hood.
Let's check it out. Reason we're under caution for a 12th time.
Let me see.
Wow.
Yep, that was definitely
contact.
Got tagged there.
Boy, Kurt Busch did not want to see this, huh?
And Rusty Wallace, one of those drivers on the fringe of the chase.
Let's listen here. See if he has to check up. Not really. I mean, he got back in the throttle real easy, but it didn't sound like he had to check up.
TJ tried to cut under him and just misjudged the gap.
I don't see any water coming out of the car, so I think Rusty will be able to finish the race, but he's going to be the last car on the lead lap. Bill?
Boy, and this string of bad luck for this team continues. This car all mashed in the front. They try and bash down the hood. They're going to come around to the left side, take off those tires and change them. But disappointing. Now they're going to let him go so we can stay on the lead lap or not lose another lap. But disappointing finish here for Rusty. I think he might have a top 10 going, BP.
He sure did. That was a battle for the 8th position.
And like I said, Rusty, one of those guys on the fringes of the race to the chase. He came into the day 17th in the championship, 208 points behind then 10th place Ryan Newman. And if he ends up finishing in the 30s like he may today.
Get some air to that radiator. It's not leaking. The ductwork might just be closed in. Guys, get you a pry bar and see if you can stick something in there or cut a hole in it or something.
Yeah, try to get some air to the radiator because so far it's not leaking water, but it will overheat if somehow the air doesn't go through to cool. Dave?
With Jimmy Fennig.
Trouble turn 2. 2 cars into the wall. Ryan Newman is one of them, and Kurt Busch is the other.
Ryan Newman, 9th place in the NASCAR Nextel Cup points. Can't afford this because he's got guys breathing down his neck.
Neither can he.
No, neither can he.
Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch is 7th in the championship. Some pretty heavy damage there, Dave.
Alan, on lap 15, Ryan reported in, the car feels squashy in the rear. I feel like I'm on top of the track. Maybe I have a right rear going down. We'll see what the replays show.
We see the left rear tire is flat, and there is the casing, the tread off the tire. So it just looks like right now, Dave, that maybe the left rear tire was flat. But we'll see.
He had lost about 3 positions in the last couple of laps before that. So he was obviously trying to feel that car out, and
we'll take a look and see what happens here.
Top right of the screen.
Yep.
He was under somebody.
Yep, he lost the left rear, and unfortunately, Kurt Busch was right there.
That's Kurt Busch cannot catch a break, but they hit these safer barriers, and both guys drive away.
Yeah, amen, man. Those things are great.
This would be on board Scott Riggs.
And just keep an eye on the left rear. Well, maybe.
He just drives by him just before, and fortunately, this was just before the wreck.
portion of the Tropicana 400 after Ryan Newman got in trouble down in turns 1 and 2. Chicagoland Speedway, NBC Sports with live coverage of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Under caution after Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman got involved in a crash in turns 1 and 2. Here's an even better look to show you exactly what happened from Kurt's perspective.
You know, watch this from Kurt Busch, and Kurt's going to Monday morning this, and he's going to wish he did not get off the throttle. Watch right here, the 6 car goes high, and Kurt slowed down to run high. BP, I think he's going to wish he just stood on the gas. He may have cleared it.
You think he might have gotten by?
I think he might. And another thing is, I know Ryan Newman's going to be second guess himself, because normally when you think you feel something wrong with the car, there's something wrong with the car. And drivers will second guess themselves all the time. And when that happens, that's what happens to your car.
One of those racing sayings, vibrations don't fix themselves.
Right. You feel something wrong, you know what? There's something wrong. You've been doing this a long time. You know better.
But you keep wishing and hoping for that caution flag, that slowdown period where you can come in and fix it. But normally, you cause the caution flag.
Or sometimes you think, maybe I just ran over some fluid, or maybe I got into some dirt. You're hoping it's not a tire going down.
So Ryan looks on as his crew attempts repairs to try and get him back out. Again, he's in the top 10 in the championship, but barely. He's 9th. And doesn't want to get any farther outside of that group if he can help it in these final 9 races. They got some work to do to get that back in the race. Oh, just as we come back to Chicagoland, that's the race leader, Kasey Kahne. He took fuel only on the restart, and he's got company in the big pile.
Junior, the 8 car has crashed.
Dave Blaney, John Andretti was involved. 4 tires, no tires, 2 tires.
And Jeff Burton, the 99 car.
You think somebody spun their tires on a restart?
No, because Tony Stewart jumped up on the outside of Sterling Marlin and passed him on the restart, which was legal, but he might have made contact with the 9 car.
Scott Riggs with damage. He was having a good run. Kasey Kahne took fuel only on his pit stop, got out front with the lead. His teammate Jeremy Mayfield and Sterling Marlin only took right side tires. Tony Stewart was the first one with 4 tires. He got an incredible jump on the restart to the outside. You see Blaney waiting for help.
I'm interested to see what happened myself, Wally. I did see Tony get that great jump.
He did get a good start. Let's watch here. Tony gets on the outside of the 40.
BP, there's a big fight in the 20 pit. Tommy Baldwin, a number of the Dodge guys came down to talk to the 20 crew members. NASCAR officials do have Tommy Baldwin. They are trying to break this up. Huge altercation down here in the 20 pit, guys.
Man.
Here's my point on this deal, guys. When some guys take tires, some guys don't take tires. If you don't have new tires, you can't go into turn 1 as hard as the guy that's got new tires. So Kasey Kahne went into the corner, but he couldn't charge the corner like Tony Stewart, who had the new tires.
Ever see Tommy Baldwin, the crew chief on the right, the light-haired fellow, the dark-haired fellow, Jim Pullman, the car chief.
And it may not be over yet.
No, it doesn't look like it.
That's the problem when you have the different tire deal.
Jason Shapiro there, the NASCAR official. Tempers have boiled.
Yes, they have. Hey, this is no different than any sporting event.
It happens in the booth all the time when
exactly.
You guys aren't watching.
Turn that camera off, because I'm fixing to hit Wally.
All right, let's go back and show it to you again.
All right, now listen. Here you got 20 on fresh tires. Now he gets a great start. Now the 9 doesn't have fresh tires, so he's going to maybe he wasn't told that he was on older tires. Unfortunately, it took out a lot of good race cars.
Never see the contact between the 10.
Wow, but nobody did anything wrong on that deal. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're driving the car to how the car feels. It just, you know, the 9 had to get out earlier because he wasn't on the fresher tires.
See Dale Jr. getting knocked around and spun. Second place driver in the championship.
And once the 9 car comes off the wall, he leaves those other fellows behind him with no place to go. You know, we're talking about the guy that was leading the race spinning.
on a restart with the whole field bunched up together. Fortunately, they weren't all up to top speed yet.
Sure did a lot of damage not being up to top speed, though, as well.
On board Dale Jr.
And he got nowhere to go in a situation like this. I mean, well, actually, Junior checked up and somebody hit him.
Someone ran the back of him and spun him around. That's right.
And you're trying to pick your way through on a wreck like this. When you're in something like this, you're seeing things happen. When you back off, sometimes you get nailed. Wow, that was a great job by Jeremy Mayfield.
Scott Riggs, he doesn't make out as well.
He sees something happen, he checks up.
And in front of you.
Checks up.
Back her down.
Oh, here comes
and has nowhere to go.
There comes a 30, which leaves him no place to go. Let's see. There, Tony Stewart goes by the 40 car. And here he comes up right on the back of the 9 and just touches him, but just entering the corner. Turns the 9, around he goes.
And you see Dale Jr.'s car on pit road for repairs, and Jeff Burton is already back into the garage. Dave Burns is with him.
Yeah, a man who had a great car, was running the high line like you talked to Benny about, and then Jeff, what happened out there?
Well, I really don't know what happened. I just saw the 9 car sideways, and I don't know what started. And obviously got run into based on the way he was pointed, and then the guys behind me just didn't get checked up. You know, it's just one of those things. Nobody behind me did anything wrong. It's just it's just a big wreck. You can't see through these cars, and one thing led to another. Really disappointing. The Comcast board was pretty decent. We had a easy top 67 car, and just bad luck right now.
How bad is the damage? Can you get back out?
The chassis is not hurt. It just it knocked the oil cooler and knocked all that stuff out of it, so it doesn't have any oil pressure. I shut it off and I'm sure we didn't hurt the engine, but we got to fix the radiator and all that. The frame's not hurt, but the body and the radiator and all that stuff's tore up.
You hear the work going on. Let's go over to Matt.
Well, Dave, here in the 20 pit, Scott Deal is on a golf cart. He is going to be taken to the infield care center, or they're going to try to administer some work on his elbow and his face. He does have scratches. His elbow is bleeding. He was knocked down on the concrete. Other than that, he is okay.
You know, when there's trouble though in that pit, he's one of the first guys that's going to protect you. So he's the guy that you want on your team.
The car chief on this team. Now, the incident started when Tom Baldwin Jr., Kasey Kahne's crew chief, came down to the 20 pit to voice his frustration.
And from there, they all ended up in a pile.
And believe me, Tommy Baldwin's no wuss either.
No. Well, I can tell you one thing for certain, Matt.
Well, now it's just cleanup here in the 20 pit, as NASCAR officials have already talked to J.D. Gibbs and Greg Zipadelli, Jimmy Maycar. Now, what the 20 team will do now, they're going to go through their pit, clean things up, make sure they have the tires in the right position, make sure everything in their pit that they need to service the race car, which was knocked over and moved around during that scuffle, is okay and back in place for the next time Tony Stewart hits pit road.
I can tell you one thing for certain. There will be some fines and or suspensions and or whatever coming out of that.
But, you know, once again, Tony this year, you know, he's been impatient. Several times he's been impatient. And this was another classic example of being impatient.
You know, I understand what you're saying, VP, but I've been in that situation. I mean, I crashed Jeff Gordon one time at Rockingham, same deal. I mean, I was on new tires and he was on older tires, and I went down into turn 1 and he got out of the gas a lot quicker than I expected, and man, he was gone. So
on a restart?
On a restart.
Oh. Bill?
Well, Benny, some of the other guys trying to work on their cars that were involved in that crash. Third lengthy stop for Dale Earnhardt Jr. They have checked the toe. They have checked the rear. It's all properly aligned. They taped up the right side, and they tried to tape up some of the crush panels that would keep the fresh air in the car and hopefully the fumes out of the car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Matt?
Now, Bill, a further update here in the 20 pit. Now, under this caution, Tony Stewart was telling Zippy his side of what happened on the racetrack. He said he didn't know if the 9 car checked up or if something happened. He saw him starting to check up. He tried to roll out of the throttle the best he could without causing something behind him, and then you saw what happened.
know, like I said, I really believe Matty checked up because the 9 went in as far as he could with those tires.
The end result is that there are a few cars in the garage, a few cars beaten up, and Tony Stewart is the race leader.
A few guys beaten up.
A few guys beaten up too, yeah. Dale Jarrett and Robbie Gordon got a lap back because they were in front of the leader when the caution came out. In this mess, down in turn 1 on a restart. Kasey Kahne leading, contact with he and Tony Stewart, and the wreck was on. We're just about to the halfway point of today's race at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll be back in a minute. Back at Chicagoland Speedway, caution is on the track. Mike Bliss has just crashed off turn 2.
All right, now we're in a situation that all these cars can make it to the end of the day. So pit crews, get your A game.
Mike Bliss running in 26th position. A couple of laps down to the race leader at the time of his accident. The NASCAR Busch Series competitor for Joe Gibbs Racing, who started today in 7th position. He has hit the safer barriers a good pop over in the second corner.
Take a look here, BP.
Coming off turn 2.
And the last part of it there.
Didn't look like anybody was around him to make contact. Just a simple losing control off the corner.
Did get the safer barrier, though.
Much welcome.
Much welcome. He thanks you.
I talked to a guy the other day that told me that these safer barriers will reduce the impact about 40% on average.
I can believe that because I've hit enough without them. That hurts.
I know it does.
And you see Mike out of the car, so good news for his friends and family, and Mike Bliss okay, but the caution is out in this race.
I think we're going to see any 2-tire stops right here.
I don't think so.
Everybody's going to take 4. Casey Mears is a lucky dog, and he has been a very fast car all day long, so this is a big break for him.
Yeah, we got 58, it'll be 57 laps to go, and they stop. No problem. Look at this. Oh, Robbie Gordon into the back of Jeff Green, and around Jeff goes.
Wow.
Caution is out. At 14 laps to go.
That was close.
Boy.
I'd like to see what started all that.
Well, we've got an idea. They were bouncing off each other like they were on a quarter-mile Saturday night.
Now, the 43 had to do something with 31. Let's take a look. Okay, there. Wow. Well, that's the end result.
Jeff Green was not on the lead lap.
He was not on the lead lap. Robbie Gordon was racing with several other cars for position, and once again, maybe he became impatient.
Yeah, he's racing with the 16, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then he gets in behind a car that's a lap down. I think you're right, BP. A little bit of, hey, get out of my way.
Pit road is open. See if we have any takers this time. Jeff Green into the wall in turn 3, bringing out the caution flag for the 9th time in this race.